For any property transaction that takes place in New Zealand, a sale and purchase agreement is required, which can be extremely intimidating, especially for first home buyers. It's the formal and legal process that is used when making offers on property in New Zealand. Although personally, I can't give legal advice as I'm not a lawyer, I do see hundreds of these sale and purchase agreements floating around from client to client through mortgage lending. And personally, I've submitted hundreds of legally binding contracts through these sale and purchase agreements in the past 18 months. So in this video, I will be doing a breakdown of what this sale and purchase form consists of and the important things you need to know if you're looking at buying a property in New Zealand. Page 1 is generally where most of the key information regarding the property transaction takes place. It has the vendor, which is the seller of the property listed in the sale and purchase, and also the purchaser. So that might be yourself, maybe you and your partner or your family, etc. It can also be labeled as a company or trust if you're buying through one of those entities as well. And in terms of the tangible numerical number that you are offering, this is where you put it. You put the purchase price here that you were prepared to offer, and then the deposit amount that you're prepared to pay when you declare the agreement to become unconditional. More on that in a second. And also what date that you would prefer settlement to be. A default sale and purchase agreement also includes general terms of sale, and these can be removed depending if the seller of the property wants to have them included or not. For example, sometimes a property will be sold as is where is, and that will remove some of the general terms of sale included. And there's also an option to add additional conditions to the property transaction or sale and purchase agreement as well. There's also information about what chattels will be included in the sale and purchase as well. But here are two important things to take into account. When making an offer, you basically have two routes you can take. You can make a conditional offer or you can make an unconditional offer. A conditional offer is more broad because you can state what conditions you want involved in the property transaction. So for example, you might make an offer on a property for $600,000 and say that you will buy the property for $600,000 providing that you can get finance for the property. Or you could say, I will buy the property for $610,000, but it's conditional on the fact that I can get finance, a builder's report, and a limb report that I'm happy with in all of those. Or you can make an offer of $620,000 with 15 working days of due diligence, which is quite common right now, which to summarize basically means that you can pull out of the agreement at your own discretion for any reason whatsoever. But obviously to the contrary, the person selling the property isn't going to want that due diligence clause because it means that they don't have a lot of control of that offer going through. They would obviously prefer what's called an unconditional offer. And if the seller or the vendor accepts the unconditional offer, that means that the purchaser needs to go through with the transaction legally. That's the most simplistic summary I can give, not to overwhelm you as a first home buyer. Again, it's something you're obviously going to need to have independent legal advice about. It's something that I can't share, but it's a summary that isn't really publicly available and something you're going to need to do as a first home buyer. So that's my summary of the best explaining it if I was to explain it to one of my clients or someone else looking at buying their first home. And if you are someone watching this and you're looking at buying your first home and you want to run through your options and get some assistance from myself that works with all of the different lenders in New Zealand, reach out to me and we can have a free non-obligation chat running through what your options are.